Calls for justice continue strong as protesters take to the streets again in cities across the country. It's been nearly 2 weeks since the death of George Floyd while in Minneapolis police custody. His death, the tipping point sparking these protests, calling for an end to police brutality and racial injustice. Good evening and thanks for being here with us. I'm Brittany Folgers.
And I'm Kristen Severance. Here in Portland, peaceful protests resume for a 10th day. Thousands expected to turn out for events planned this evening.
We see a similar theme each night. Largely peaceful protests take place for hours. Then, late into the night, a different group makes its way to the Justice Center downtown, causing chaos and destruction, often overshadowing what so many are fighting so hard for. Today, Morgan Romero talked to organizers behind two massive movements in Portland who are joining forces to make sure their message is heard loud and clear. Morgan.
Brittany and Kristen, day after day over the past week, we have seen thousands of people pour into Portland streets to protest injustices against Black Americans. We have seen massive demonstrations on the east side of town, typically starting around 6 o'clock at night, and then outside the Justice Center downtown, we're seeing a pattern of late night destruction and clashes between law enforcement and protesters. But activists and peaceful protest organizers say we shouldn't be looking at the differences because the message and the root cause are the same. Organizers behind these protests that have started at Revolution Hall prefer peace. They truly believe it can lead to reform. But Kinsey Smythe and Devin Boss also know anger inside people who feel oppressed comes out in all types of ways. People are fed up with African Americans dying at the hands of law enforcement, and they're going to do what they need to do in order to finally be heard.
But what my motto is right now is 100% peaceful, 0% victim. So I'm 100% about peaceful protests and showing that we can create change in a way that doesn't involve violence whatsoever. But if the police who laugh at our efforts, who mimic our efforts, who have no respect for us and our people,
and hurt us.
Yes, and harm us and brutalize us, if they decide that they want to inflict pain into our people, I mean, we're going to react.
And sometimes when you're looking at violence and looting and these words that are constantly things, that's what you think of, oh, well, that's going to further hurt our community, right? So we're bridging those efforts. We're trying to make it so that further destruction is not there. We're going to go help clean up that. And we're going to try to make sure that the further destruction of human bodies and life is not there, so we're going to go protect them. I'm not going to go tell them that their efforts are wrong or right, but I'm going to try to go there and reduce the amount of harm and destruction that is happening so that the messages across the board are being heard.
I met up with them after they held a meeting to figure out how to bridge the gap between efforts. They're working to build a cohesive, clear message and create demands for reforming law enforcement and fixing systemic racism. Ultimately, they feel we need to scrap militarized policing in our country. We've seen police using tear gas, flashbangs, and other methods to control crowds at these protests. But ultimately, they call this a revolution, an awakening that's been amplified by social media. They say after this, life won't go back to the way it was before.